Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Charlie. On today's episode, I'm going to be showing y'all how to make my delicious New Orleans king cake. A king cake is a type of cake associated with many countries of epiphany. Now, down in New Orleans, it's carnival time. And in celebration of Mardi Gras, we eat lots of king cake. Now, this type of cake has many different variations of flavors, fillings, etc. But this is just the original plain king cake, and it is a remake of my 2015 recipe for king cake. This recipe can get about 18 to 20 or possibly more servings, all depending on how you slice it. It's a taste of New Orleans tradition, absolutely delicious. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, here's all what you'll need to make your homemade New Orleans king cake. Let's get started with our ingredients. You'll need some all-purpose flour, sugar, brown sugar, salt, instant yeast, unsalted butter, large eggs at room temperature, whole milk at room temperature, vanilla extract, butter extract, almond extract, cinnamon, purple, green, and gold sugar sprinkles, and some confectioner sugar. And for your tools, you will need some Baker's Joy nonstick baking spray, a rolling pin, a pastry brush, a large clear plastic bag, and to bake your king cake, you will need an 11 by 17 inch baking pan. And there we have it. Alright, let's get straight to it. For our dry ingredients, add 4 cups of all-purpose flour, a half a cup of sugar, 3 teaspoons of instant yeast, and a half a teaspoon of salt. Stir all your ingredients together. For your wet ingredients, add 1 1/4 cups of warm whole milk. The temperature of the milk should be between 115 and 120 degrees Fahrenheit. 11 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. 2 large eggs at room temperature. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a half a teaspoon of butter extract. Stir all your ingredients together with a whisk until well combined. Alright, let's get started with the preparation of our dough. In our stand mixer bowl, fitted with the dough hook attachment, you can also use a regular mixing bowl with a sturdy wooden spoon. Pour your wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. Mix this on a medium-low speed or according to your stand mixer's instructions on mixing doughs for about 4 to 5 minutes. Alright, as you can see, the dough doesn't stick to my hand, and even if the dough is slightly sticky, don't worry about that, that is normal. Let the dough rest in the mixing bowl for about 1 to 2 minutes. Lightly flour the surface of your table, add the dough on top of the table. Sprinkle a small amount of flour on top of the dough. Knead the dough for 1 minute. Form the dough into a ball. Let the dough rest for 15 minutes. Alright, let's get started with our cinnamon sugar mixture. Add a half a cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. Stir all your ingredients together until combined. Take your spoon and break down some of those larger pieces of brown sugar. Alright, let's get started with our butter vanilla filling. So in this frying pan, I've melted 5 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Add a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1/4 teaspoon of butter extract. Stir all your ingredients together. Now this is going to be added to the dough along with our cinnamon sugar mixture. Alright, it's been about 15 minutes now. Press the dough down with your hands. This will release the gases caused by the yeast. Press the dough down into a flat rectangle. Take your rolling pin and roll the dough into a 30-inch long by 15-inch wide rectangle. I've made some indentation marks into the dough. Each indentation mark is 5 inches apart. Take a knife and cut the dough into 3 strips. Each strip should be 5 inches wide. Careful not to add any of the butter vanilla mixture or the cinnamon sugar mixture onto the edge of the dough that's facing towards you. Alright, here we have our butter vanilla mixture with a pastry brush. Generously brush that butter vanilla mixture onto each strip of dough. Make sure you use all of the butter vanilla mixture. Just keep adding the butter vanilla mixture in there until you don't have it anymore. Take your cinnamon sugar mixture and generously sprinkle that onto each strip of dough. Make sure you don't add any of the cinnamon sugar mixture onto the edge of the dough that's facing toward you. Make sure that you use all of the cinnamon sugar mixture. And there we go. Take your fingers and gently roll the dough towards you like you're rolling a jelly roll. Take your fingers and press down onto the edge of the dough to seal. Now it's time to braid our king cake. So we're going to first start by taking the very end of the dough and just bring all three ends of the dough together. To braid our king cake, we're going to start by taking the strip that is on the far right and we're going to cross it over the middle strip to the opposite side. Okay, now you want to remember that the strip that is on the farthest side always crosses over the middle strip. So now on the opposite side, we're going to take that other strip and we're going to cross that over the middle strip. And now that strip that you just crossed over is now the middle strip. Now we're going to take the one that's on the farthest side, which is the right side again, and we're going to cross that over the middle strip. And from there, you can just continue doing that pattern until you reach the very edge of the dough. Bring the two ends of the dough together. From there, you're going to braid the ends together. Now, after all these years, I still can't get the part where you have to braid the king cake in. Spray your baking pan with the Baker's Joy non-stick baking spray. Take your dough and carefully add it into your baking pan. Preheat your oven until it's warm for about 1 minute. After 1 minute, turn your oven off. Place your king cake dough into a warm oven. Make sure your oven is off. If you don't want to use your oven, you can let the dough rise in a warm spot. Let the dough rise for 1 hour. After 1 hour, remove your king cake dough from the oven. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 375 degrees. Alright, that rose pretty nicely. Now let's go ahead and put this in the oven. Place this into a preheated 375 degree oven. On the middle rack, bake this for 15 to 18 minutes. Alright, it's been about 15 to 18 minutes now for our king cake. Let's go ahead and remove this out of the oven. Let the king cake cool for about 45 minutes to 1 hour. Alright, let's get started with making our king cake icing. Add 2 cups of confectioner sugar, 3 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter, 4 tablespoons of warm whole milk, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, a half a teaspoon of butter extract, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of almond extract. Stir all your ingredients together with a whisk until the icing is creamy and smooth with no visible lumps. The icing will also be a little bit more on the thick side. That is normal. While the king cake is still warm, take your icing and spread it on top of the king cake. Do this as quickly as possible as you don't want the icing to set. Next, you're going to sprinkle some purple, green, and gold sugar sprinkles on top of the icing. Let the icing set for about 10 to 15 minutes. To transport the king cake, just take your hands, or if you have some spatulas, you can place that underneath the king cake and transport the king cake onto a serving pad. You can also transfer the king cake onto the serving pad just before you add the icing and the sugar sprinkles on top. Here I have a plastic baby. This is another part of New Orleans tradition. You're going to take that plastic baby and you're going to insert it underneath the king cake. That way, when a guest cuts a slice of the king cake and the plastic baby is found inside that slice of king cake, that means that they have to serve the next king cake for the next party. To store the king cake, place it into a large clear plastic bag and tie the end of the bag. It'll last about 7 days at room temperature and 3 months in your freezer. Here is the final presentation. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, homemade New Orleans king cake, made from scratch by a New Orleans native. If you like my channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell button if you want to be notified of my videos. I have an official website for all of my recipes, including this one. Go to www.charliethecookandrews.com. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter under the name Charlie the Cook Andrews. Stay tuned as Charlie's Taste Test is coming up next. Can't wait. Now it's time to go ahead and take a bite. Got a nice big piece, just like my third piece of king cake, y'all. Look at that. Here goes nothing. Y'all, the king cake is soft, moist, not dry like some of those other king cakes out there. Y'all, it's like it has a wonderful cinnamon flavor with that hint of butter, vanilla, and almond extract from that icing and those purple, green, and gold sprinkles. I mean, y'all, it's like the taste of Mardi Gras. So, give the recipe a try. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, have a good one. Peace.